Good afternoon, people. It's your guy J Crew to you, coming at you here with another video here on my YouTube page. I wanted to, talk to y'all a little bit this afternoon about a story that popped up over the weekend concerning a very well known YouTuber named Cali Muscle. Uh, for those of y'all who may not recognize that name, Cali Muscle is a bodybuilder uh, just on social media. He was at one time, I think he was trying to be a competitive bodybuilder, but he pretty much just kind of threw that to the side and just kind of sided with being a social media, muscle entertainer. And but there was an event in his life that took place this past weekend, and I think that warrants conversation. But first, I'm gonna get into how I became aware of Cali Muscle. Uh, about I want to say back 2012, I remember seeing a viral video of Cali Muscle that appeared on that site, worldstarhiphop.com. And with that site, Cali Muscle basically was kind of giving you his life story. I mean, I had never heard of him, I had never seen him. And so just seeing, this guy who was just big as hell, real ripped, you know, kind of had the wave cap on, just swole. It kind of got your attention, but the video was what I call like a hardcore shop type video. It was kind of dark, and it was just showing him throwing weights around and basically just showing off his physique. But he was also telling you his life story, like in a very shortened format. I believe it may have been like 10 or 12 minutes. Even though it was only 10 or 12 minutes, that video was very effective because really gave you an insight into who he was, where he came from, and where he was trying to be. He basically uh, was born in Oakland, California, back in the mid '70s. I think 1975, February 1975. And Cali basically was a guy who came from a very rough environment, came up in the hood. You know, a lot of drugs and violence he had to go deal with, but he managed to somehow escape that initially. And I think he went to Fresno State on a football scholarship. But what happened is that he kind of got in the issue where he kind of needed money because I don't think his scholarship paid for the amount of money he was looking for. So he basically committed, I think, maybe some robberies. He got caught up. He ended up doing a total of 11 years in prison over a series of years. I think he got convicted of most stuff, but the initial sentence was for robbery. Either way, he emerged, and I know he was on YouTube, I think, well before I heard of him. Because, like I said, I heard about him maybe in 2012 when he did this little documentary that was produced by this group called the Strength Project, I believe. And, I want to say he had been around maybe since the late 2000s. And he really was just a regular guy. But when they did that Strength Project video which really kind of advertised and promoted him, he just took off. Um, as you know, over the years, Cali Muscle's channel has been the subject of much controversy, ridicule, because at one time I think he was trying to market himself as a natural bodybuilder, but he, people just kind of outed him and not even really needing to have seen any proof. They were like, "Man, you ain't natural. You shooting up steroids." And so, he kind of engaged with other YouTubers about, using steroids and all that. And basically saying, basically kind of at times, talking around it or denying it. But either way, his channel still managed to grow. And it grew to the point where he really became like one of the top YouTubers, like in the fitness industry. Um, but this past weekend, there was an issue that happened with him. He seemed to have a heart attack, and he made a video and posted to his channel. He said he almost died, and what he was saying was that I think he had went to the dentist recently or something like that, and when he came home from the dentist, he wasn't feeling too good. So he took some for I guess his chest pains that he was having, and he went to the doctor at the behest of his girlfriend. I think her name was like Helena or something like that. She's that chick that appears in a lot of his videos. Uh, and it was discovered that one of his arteries that was connected to his heart was like pretty much 100% blocked. And so I think he said they had to go in and put a stent in there. And if you watch the video, Callie was very emotional. You know, he started to cry at the end of it because he was thankful that he had survived. Because he knows many people who was in his position and who are around his age, started to have problems or either have died within the last, 10 years or so in bodybuilding. Ironically, there was another guy that just passed who's well known to many people in the bodybuilding community. His name is Sean Roden, and he was actually the Mr. Olympia. Like, well, I think it was a couple of years ago he won, but unfortunately he had a bit of a controversy with a personal rape charge that he encountered, and so that kind of dampened his Olympia accomplishment. So Sean Roden was Mr. Olympia, but he recently passed away within the last week, and he's the same age as Cali Muscle, 46. He's the same age. And if people even remember years ago, going back, so what was that, 2016, 2017? Probably the most famous fitness YouTuber, Rich Piana. He was another guy who was on YouTube, who was a huge bodybuilder, both in personality and size, like Cali Muscle. He died. He had a heart attack, and he was like 46. So it's a lot of stuff been going on, man, like in the world of bodybuilding. I mean, I know there've been more guys who have passed away, but I just can't think of their names right now. I mean, so that's one of the reasons why Cali got so emotional, because he was thankful that he had survived. He said, man, some people don't get a second chance. And he, in fact, mentioned Sean Roden in that video. So let me just say, with Cali Muscle, I know there was a period within the last 4 or 5 years when he had his twins. People noticed that his channel had changed on YouTube. They noticed that he went from this guy who basically was just huge, I think he's like 5'9", maybe like 260 or 250 at one point. He had gone all the way down where he looked like he was either around 200 pounds or just below that. And people were talking about that so much with Cali Muscle. They were like, what is he, sick? What's going on with him? He actually had to do a response video to some of his critics. And he basically saying he was cycling off the drugs to live a healthy lifestyle, to prepare his body to have a baby. Because, if you jacked up on them drugs, I guess it kind of can impede your ability to produce children. And so Cali, dramatically shaped down. And of course, we seen his twins. I think he had a boy and a girl who are twins. But since that point, he's kind of buffed back up, and I guess he was on that stuff. And stuff meaning probably steroids. Because he looked like how he looked before he had kids. And so, I want to close out this video by saying that, I myself, I lift weights, but I do not endorse drug usage at all. I don't use steroids. I don't use any kind of supplements. I eat food, drink a lot of water, and I go to the gym and work out. And it's to try to be healthy. Because I think the bodybuilding lifestyle has proven to be very, very unhealthy. When you see them guys looking all big and shredded, they're doing a lot of drugs. And the women, too. A lot of the women, they using hair pieces because their hair's falling out. And some of them look like guys because they're doing so many drugs. And I just don't endorse that. But either way, I would like to say, I hope Cali Muscle has a speedy recovery, because no question about this brother, he's very entertaining. He's very entertaining. And like I said, when he kind of went down in size, I think one thing he did to avert people's attention away from that was his channel became a gaming channel. If you remember, it became like a gaming channel, and it was just to get views, while he was going through, cycling off of that stuff so he can have kids. But it just shows you that there's a consequence to, looking that way. I mean, he may feel like he may need to stay that way to be successful, but if it costs him his life and to the point where he can't take care of his family, to me, it's not worth it. So I just want to say, get well soon, Cali Muscle, man. You're a very entertaining brother, and I hope you can find a way around having to use all them drugs, man, to stay big. She got J. Crew to you. signing off for today. This is Tuesday, November 9th. Y'all be safe out there, and I hope y'all have some good holidays coming up. Thank you.